So, when you're just starting your agency, you are in a desperate need of clients and you're willing to take on anyone who has a credit card and is willing to pay for your services, even if it's a higher amount, a high ticket, or a low ticket. What matters to you at that time is just to get those couple few first to 1 to 5 clients in so that you can establish yourself as an agency owner. But in what happens during that time frame is that you often end up attracting the wrong clients as well. Don't get me wrong, you can get an excellent client as well, but it's a mixed pool, right? You're bound to get a bad client and a good client, but when you're just starting out, you have no whatsoever experience as to what is a bad client, what are the characteristics of a bad client, and why you should avoid them. My name is Krishna Vrati. I run a e-commerce advertising agency. I've been doing it for about 2 to 3 years at this point, and I believe, like at this point, like I'm so good at spotting bad clients that we do not even let them go through the door. We do not even bring them on at this point, and I'll tell you why. So the first thing is, why do you want to avoid a bad client? A lot of you might have the notion that, hey, it's a client at the end of the day, they're willing to pay, they're pulling out their credit card, they're paying every single month. Uh, how does it even matter if they are a bad client or a good client? They're paying, right? No. What happens is these bad clients, they pay you, that's okay. But it's such a pain in the ass to handle them that you end up, because what happens is you're putting equal efforts into each and every client. So you're putting the same efforts in a good client and you're putting the same efforts in a bad client. But what happens is the bad client drains your energy even after they are paying you a lot, or like whatever amount they're paying you, they drain your energy and that affects your performance on the other clients, which is a no-go. So you want to make sure that from the start you're always attracting right clients. Again, just a disclaimer, you're always going to have experiences with a couple extreme clients, and that's bound to happen. That's human nature, right? But you need to know how to spot them and avoid them so that you're not just attracting them and they just come by fluke, and it's you can minimize it to to like a very small extent, right? So how do you spot a bad client? So in my experience, I've seen three important points which are usually like a telltale on if this is a good client or a bad client. So I'm gonna tell you the three things which are usually a bad client. Number one is bargaining or haggling, right? And this is a easy characteristic to spot at first itself, on the demo or the discovery call itself. So if they try to bargain or if they try to get your price down, right, it's a huge red flag. And like it's completely okay if they're joking about it like once or twice, right? Everyone, if you're charging a lot high, they might want to change the pricing structure. It's okay if they like just jokingly laugh it off like once or twice. But if they constantly try to get your prices down, they have genuinely not seen the value, and they are not seeing the value and they're only concerned about the price. And that's a very bad client to start off with, because it's always going to hurt them when they see the money go from their account every single month. And that's not what we want. Even after you being a great service provider, they'll always think you're expensive for them. And that's a characteristic you do not want. You want to be an asset for them, not an expense. Every time they see the money go away, every month they get the notification of the money of like the retainers, right? So that's a complete no go. It's a huge it's a huge red flag, and I would always suggest you to just walk away. You do not need to close that client, right? The second thing is very important. This is what happens after, like, once you have closed the client and now you're on the onboarding stage. What we usually do in the onboarding stage is we set very clear expectations in terms of communication and accountability on both ends, right? So in like onboarding, I can create a video in future on how to correctly onboard a client, but you want to make sure and you want to make it super clear that you set the right expectations on where they can text you or where they can message you and when they can message you, right? You don't want to be texting you like in midnight. Obviously, time zone issues are there, but like you want to make sure you're only texting them and they are only given one means of approaching you. For me, it has always been Slack, but this could be WhatsApp for you. I just don't like WhatsApp because I have family on there as well. But this could be any one means, like one messaging software, one messaging interface, right? And you want to make sure they're not texting you, or like they have your Slack, you have set clear expectations, but they still text you on WhatsApp, and then the other day they send you an update or something through an email. No, that's not what we want. And that's a clear characteristic of a bad client who do not understand boundaries, right? Another case on this could be like they get angry at you when you do not respond in like 3 to 4 hours, or 4 to 5 hours, right? They do not consider the time difference as well in terms of time zone, in case you're working with, for example, the e-commerce niche, right? So these are a no-go clients because they do not understand boundaries. They get angry when you don't respond in like 5 to 6 hours, or they just generally communicate a lot with you. A characteristic which I've personally seen with the best clients, which I've worked with for like 18 to 19 months at this point, is they don't text me at all. It's my team who's sending them the updates, the bi weekly updates, or anything which we need from them. But there's minimal texting, and when we ask them for example, for creatives for advertisements, they reply with a yes, and we get it the other day from their creative team. It's as simple as that. We don't need to be chatting. There's no chatting involved, right? We don't need that. Okay, so that's the characteristic number two. Characteristic number three is showing appreciation, giving the credit where it's due, basically, right? So if they don't say a thank you, even after you're bringing them good results, they feel like you were supposed to do it, that was deemed to be done, right? And they're not polite, they're not courteous, they're arrogant, rude, proud. These are all negative characteristics, as you know, right? So just get rid of them, right? These clients who cannot appreciate you bringing results for them, who cannot appreciate you giving them updates on a bi-weekly basis, or sometimes with our clients we often go out of our way. If you're providing them just advertising or paid advertising services, we often consult them on CRO, on email marketing as well, because at the end of the day everything is attached for that brand, right? Or the business, right? So if we help them in one way, it just supplements the growth. So they appreciate us, they understand that we were only meant to be doing paid advertisement, but since we're helping them with XYZ things as well, they're super appreciative. They thank us a lot, they send us kind messages, and they're overall just good people. So these are the three characteristics which I have seen in terms of clients, and how I think these are the three characteristics of like wrong clients or bad clients you just want to avoid, steer away from them. If you have any other point which you have personally faced with your agency, feel free to leave it down below in the comments. I would love to see it, right? It just only benefits all of us who are seeing the video, as well as me as well. So that's basically it. These are the three things which you should be avoiding when you're just starting out with your agency and you're between your beta clients, which is basically 1 to 5 clients, so that you can work with better, good paying, and good appreciative clients as well. That's basically it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.